Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And this one is the black dating coaches and women using sex appeal to destroy Afro men due to jealousy and resources. And the very Afro men they are trying to destroy is those that were smart enough to stay away from the drug game, not have any felonies, and oh, by the way, get a passport and leave the United States. Now, here's the problem with this. This is the problem that they have. These made up women in the background that you see in the white and gold, well, we're supposed to wait and chase after them. Only they don't want the men that have resources. They don't want those men that would make good fathers. They don't want those men that are builders. No, they want the thugs. All right. So basically, what's been going on is recently, Minister Jap, he's been making news on Facebook and stuff like that, but because he turned out to be a simp, somebody who attacks Afro men for making a decision to go where they're appreciated, not just tolerated. They're not even, trust me, a good Afro man that seeks to build, that's been trying to help the community in the United States of America, the so-called black community, we're not appreciated or tolerated. So now that we're leaving in droves, I mean a mass exodus, a brain drain, these people have a problem with us, but guess who don't have a problem leaving the United States? Yeah, Chad. Now, the women you see featured here, this is what the women look like for the most part in Belize. All right, one of the places I'm thinking about retiring to, because I am so fed up with the garbage that's coming out of the black neighborhood as a result of this single motherhood and all these criminal minded simps that they've raised is ridiculous. All right, let me greet everybody real quick. Horvorden Hardu Gudag, Ola Oite Bang, Fasas Los, Bonjour mes amis, Kedabawini Konnichiwa, Nihani Ama, Sani Bonani, Jambo Habarigani, Assalamu alaikum Shalom, Kamusta Ka, Kamusta Pokayo, and Talafa Lava Soifua to my brother out in the Polynesian area. All right, and so basically, now let me break something else down that I want you to understand. There's a difference between these dating coaches and all these hustlers that was in a drug gang that effed up their lives so they can't get passports and go anywhere, and dudes like Kevin Samuels. Now, understand this. I don't listen to Kevin Samuels because I don't need his services. Now, some of y'all, when y'all pass videos that he does, it's interesting, it's funny, it's hilarious. But understand, Kevin Samuels market himself in the truth of what he is. He's an image consultant, not a dating coach. He helps anybody improve their image for a fee to be suitable to the Caucasian idea, Hollywood idea, or as we say, the popular thing of what image is in the United States. All right. So for businesses, for dating, for all of that, if you want to improve your images to match the Caucasian version of beauty, of what success is or whatever, then you go to an image consultant. All right. Presidents, politicians use them. That's what he is. What Minister Jap is a traitor to the Afro male. an oppressor of the Afro male, and a false accuser. All right, so let's break this down as to what's really going on. All right, so a lot of these dudes are ignorant of how far our culture stretches in the diaspora. All right, so again, this is Belize. Apparently, this is what many of the women look like in Belize. A lot of melanation in Belize. All right, but instead of going and exploring that idea of anything, they want us to wait on these females who don't want anybody decent, who advertises that they don't want anybody decent, and who don't look like what you see in the picture, because they look like a totally different person once you take off all that clown makeup. All right. So what's going on is these dudes are attacking men that are able to leave the United States with passport. What dudes are attacking them? The criminals. The ones who got felonies and can't leave are now jealous of the ones who can leave. Now, that's my opinion. Because when you look at these dating coaches, most of them were the ones that was in the game, which is why they talk about game all the time, because they have nothing else to offer. I have no game, but I don't need game. All I got to do is be the real me. Do what I want to do and go where I'm appreciated. Now, I have the means by which to go where I'm appreciated because I didn't F my life up to get to where I am now. But the dudes that have no other choice to either be jealous or come against the good Afro men and be the attack dogs for the BL females that don't want good men to begin with. Now, let me take this moment to remind you to my Cash App and my PayPal me is in the description box. Y'all already know what to do. Now, remember, you take care of your home and family first before you donate to anybody. All right, but if you got a little extra, you can send it this way. All right, so let's continue on. So basically, the females don't want us until they get to this point, right? And they're upset that we're like, no, we're not settling for that. If you didn't want us when you were at your best, right? We don't want you now that we are at our best. Remember, the Afro male that works hard usually after 35 start building up some wealth or building up a retirement like me, right? I've been retired, was able to retire early. All right, so now I'm looking to go where I am appreciated. I want y'all to understand that. Not tolerated, appreciated. Now, we have some other issues here. The other issues are when you look at these pictures, our other issues is the manipulation of thought by way of not the Caucasian people, because they did their damage, right? And it didn't work well. It so didn't work well that all the way up into the 50s, the Afro community was strong enough to rival the Caucasian community, at least in the United States. I know that history. So when did we start splintering where we start being ashamed of color again? old 70s when the single moms decided to buy into feminism and start teaching. Remember, the first person that taught me that my color was just bad was females, black females. And that's the experience in most of us had in the so-called black community. All right. Now, the other problem is that you have people like Minister Jack and some other people. All right. And what they do is they then use lies to attack the Afro men. But this is my answer to that. All right. This is my answer to that. Let them use their lies. And let's leave them alone to their lies. Period. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have to stay around because we got passports. We can leave them to live in the cesspool that is their community. Now, let me say this. These dudes are falsely accusing Afro men with passports of being pedophiles while voting a dude into office that have a laptop full of proof where at least his son has been getting it on with you know what. All right. The underage, let's say that. All right. That the media hid, but the pictures got out. And these guys are okay with that. They're okay with Chad at the beginning. You saw him going with his passport. But if you're an Afro man, you better not do it. All right. To that, I say F them. All right. Now, I want y'all to understand some stuff. We got options as good Afro men. And I keep telling y'all, put some of your money aside for a passport and a visa. Because what's happening is there's a lot of us brothers that's going to be able to go other places. And one of the dudes just hit me up from the Philippines and that listens to my channel. And he said, brothers, if we ever come to the Philippines, he has an Airbnb. All right. So we got brothers looking out for one another. All right. So as we do that, all right, keep in mind that what you're looking at right now that's coming into view is some of the women and the look of the women in Belize. Now, one of the things that brothers are talking about the women in Belize, that not a single brother, as a matter of fact, the problem with the trafficking that people are having are the people that they're bringing from these countries into the United States. Y'all better understand, these countries are not the problem. The dudes that are going to the countries like this are going after these women. But the problem is, the people that's coming across the border, all that trafficking, children with no parents, that's coming into the United States, okay, under the Biden administration, okay, that's the trafficking. Where do you think they're going to end up? They're going to end up on the streets. Y'all better pay attention. All right. We're kind of tired of this mess right here. All right. We're tired of this. We don't want any more. We don't need any more. All right. Because they don't look like that either. The hair is not real. If they got them long eyelashes, it's not real. And it's a bunch of makeup. right? So what happens is, even when you go to these, Belize is kind of middle of America, Central America, all right? And some of the times when you go down there, you have to be just as aware of, as we call it now, witchcraft. You got to call it what it is. When something is altered to not be what it really is, then call it what it is. All right? Now, here's the thing. At least in these countries, when you say you don't like makeup, they'll take it off. Why? Because they are taught to please a man, and if you please a man, he might want to stay with you. If he stays with you, you'll have somebody to take care of you. Why? Because this is not the first world country where the men built everything up so much that the women said, we don't need you now, until stuff goes bad. You see what I'm saying? They're not as exploitive as the women are in the United States. So, do we need this? Heel to the knob. At the end of the day, we're looking at things and we're saying, you know what? We'll take a pass on all of this, because it comes with too much danger and too much risk. And we as good men cannot afford the risk that these bring to us in the States. And we're tired of their simps. Understand this. Like Minister Jap and those like him who have decided that they are going to lie. Understand this. Lie on the good men because they're jealous. They can't go anywhere because they effed their life up with a felony record that will not allow them to leave the same as we do. At the end of the day, you got to look at one other factor. As the beauties from Belize fade in over what you got going on in the United States. All right? One must ask themselves, who is more likely to give you the time of day? And you can't force them. You don't need game. One of the things is, if you learn a little bit of Spanish and greet these women in a manner of respect, you might be able to get a number and go out. It is really that easy. It isn't about game in these places. It's about life in these places. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. It isn't about game. It isn't about using you. Till after they get with you. You got to watch that, because women are still women. All right? But we don't have to put up with the danger that comes with dealing with the BW. And now it is getting dangerous for a good man to even be in the presence of anybody in the black community, because they'll lie on you, try to set you up out of jealousy, like Minister Jack. Understand this, because now they're in it and it's the new game. Understand it, it's the new game. At the end of the day, The real reason why brothers don't want to be with this is because it is too much of a risk. All right? And we're tired of taking risks with no reward. There's no reward to this. And so this goes out to clowns like Minister Jeff. It's a no depolicing zone. Keep this in mind. The depolice concept, it's hard for me to believe that a lot of people are using it. But y'all remember, y'all got it from here first. All right? It's a no depolicing zone. Let the BWs in America hit the wall alone. The other women in other countries, they're looking for men that are able to take care of them already. They don't have time for thugs. Thugs can't even make it there. Why? Because in these countries, you can't go there with a criminal record. That's the difference between those women and the American women. The American women seek out those with criminal records and just coming out of the penitentiary. These women said, no, we're looking for men that can take care of us. With that said, I'm out.